Hello, dear friends. Zane Baker here in the house, and welcome to today's session. Today's session is going to be very special. We're going to talk about the scale of consciousness and how to create a different reality than the one that we are in. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you are a recurring member, thank you. My deepest gratitude for your love and support. We have officially grown to 1,300 members and grown strong. So guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for liking, for commenting, for sharing, for really spreading the word. We are making a huge difference, and together we create an army of transformational agents that will change the world. So today's video is going to be about the scale of consciousness, and now let's dive in. So welcome to today's training. Let's begin the training with asking you, are you happy with the reality that you are living in? Are you completely satisfied and happy with the reality that you are in? If the answer is yes, then awesome. You and I, we really need to talk so I can see what are some of the things that you implemented in your life to create the beautiful life that you have. However, I have a feeling that many people will answer, no, Zane, I'm not happy with the life I have. My life currently is not very positive. Things in my life are not working out exactly as I want them to work out, and I'm just very stressed out about the situation. Well, what if I can tell you guys that you have the ability within you to truly create an alternate reality, a different reality than the one that you're in, and be able to feel it, taste it, be in it, not just in here, but in here, in this life? What if I told you that you can do that? If I told you you can do that, are you open and are you willing to learning the true understanding? I'm not going to hype it up and say the secret and this and that. It's not a freaking secret. It's actually the truth. But the crazy part, guys, is many people, they're either not willing to hear the truth, or the truth sounds so simple that they just cut it out. So today, guys, I'm going to talk to you about the scale of consciousness. Because when you understand the scale of consciousness, then you have the ability to alter your reality. And the truth of the matter, guys, is the reality that I am experiencing right now are very different than the reality that you are experiencing, and very different than the reality that your friends are experiencing. And if you're wondering, but why? We're all living in the same exact world we're living in right now. We live in a day and age right now where fearing for our health is a thing because of the coronavirus and all that stuff. Wearing a mask or not wearing a mask creates a big debate. Our culture is upside down because so many things are happening that are waking us up to the truth that we cannot just live the way we lived our entire life and expect life to be different. So some of you might be thinking, but Zane, all of us are experiencing this, so therefore all of us are stuck and feeling miserable and all this and that. Not true, guys. Not true. The reason that some people felt so stuck when quarantine was happening, while others who were still quarantined, they didn't feel stuck, is because the scale of consciousness. See, guys, I read a book called Force versus Power. Force versus Power. The author in the book really explained the $1 million answer to the $1 million question, which is, how can we really change our lives? But it was explained in a scientific way, so I think not that many people actually got the message. If you're familiar with the author and his work, then you know his work is magic. His work is epic. But if you're not, or you don't understand, then the information will just be missed. So my intent of this video is to make the information from that book that I read so digestible, so easy to follow, that you cannot help but apply it in your life today. On the screen, I'm going to display a slide that shows the scale of consciousness. And once you understand the scale of consciousness and you know where you at on that scale on day-to-day basis, that's when you start to create different realities in your life, regardless of what's happening in your current experience. And guys, if somebody who grew up in a war-torn country, lived his entire life in oppression, didn't know that there are people who are living normal life, didn't know that there are people who are living to their highest potential and making something out of themselves, regardless of their gender, regardless of their color, regardless of their sexual orientation, regardless of where they came from, can apply the scale of consciousness to his life and become the man that he is today. I'm talking about me. Guys, you know my story. I grew up in the Middle East, in war-torn country in the middle of the 80s, and lived my entire life under a dictatorship in an oppressed society. So if someone like me can apply these things into their life and make a difference, so can you. And guys, the beauty of this is you don't have to apply it like from the day you were a child, so you can like become the total manifestation of the awesome human that you want to be when you're an adult. It doesn't work like that. It works based on your free will. See, guys, growing up in the Middle East, for me, war and a lot of killing, a lot of kidnapping, a lot of turmoil, a lot of pain have made me conditioned to see things from that light. People who didn't experience those experiences, they might have empathy for it, they might sympathize with me, but they don't have the trauma of it stored in their subconscious. So each one of us, we have a unique composition of the things that we experienced. And my intention is that for you to do your personal development work, by actually looking at this training, seeing the scale of consciousness, asking yourself where you're at on the scale of consciousness, and started to shift. Because guys, my vibration didn't shift until I migrated to the US. And in my journey of personal growth and transformation began in 2007 when I came to the US, and a very dear friend of mine told me, Zane, if you want to create a different reality than the one you had in Baghdad, because you will manifest Baghdad in here. Trust me. You might not be chased by Al-Qaeda or other organizations, but you will manifest some crazy stuff and still live in that mentality. And I thought he was crazy. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? So he bought me a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. And boy, oh boy, when I read that book, how things shifted. Whew, they shifted so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, why don't they teach this in school? There's a reason why. So in school, they don't teach us the scale of consciousness because they don't want us to be free thinkers. And guys, if there are teachers who are watching this, I have so much love and deep respect for you guys. This is a plea for everyone who wants to awaken their self to their divine spirit and their divine nature. So anyone could take this scale, apply it in their life, and really create a shift and create a change in their life. And many of my friends who started to really apply that scale of consciousness in their life, they really started to create magic. They started to create huge shifts in their life. So in here, guys, you see there is this figure, and there are layers of consciousness. And that those layers go from the deepest, heaviest emotions all the way to the highest and lightest emotions. So we start with the deep emotions of guilt and shame and anger and resentment and revenge and all these lower vibration heavy emotions. And we scale up all the way to love and peace and tranquility and enlightenment. So you might be thinking, Zane, awesome. This is a really cool slide. These colors jive with me. I'm happy. How can I apply this in my life? Guys, for each and every one of you to have a different reality than the one you're experiencing, you have to go to the source. And I am not a man who uses the word have to unless it's needed. And in this case, it's needed. You have to go to the source to erase any past limitations that you might have experienced and open yourself up to new ones. So when I say source, I'm talking about your subconscious mind. Guys, your subconscious mind has stored everything that you have experienced in your past from the day you were born until this date. And actually, science has proven that when we were an infant in the tummy of our mothers, we started to store memories in our subconscious. So then when we come out to the world that we're in, we're equipped to live life in that world. So my invitation for you guys is to really keep an open mind and know that by you applying something this different than what you might have heard or what you might have got accustomed to, then you might change your life. Full transparency. Lives will be changed if this gets applied. Lives will be changed if this gets applied. So guys, the scale of consciousness, when you want to apply it, you want to go to the source. So you want to ask yourself, how my past have painted the picture of my present reality and will paint the picture of my future. Because guys, as I said, everything we experience gets stored in the subconscious. So if you grew up in a world like me, where my entire life it was one war after another, one invasion after another, killing, death, kidnapping, loss was just normal part of my life, literally normal part of my life. And I know many of you send me messages of love and gratitude and say, we're so happy that you're safe and sound, Zane. We love you. Thank you for using your voice to help others. And I have so much love for you guys. You are amazing. Like your deep love and support is what gives me energy. And while at it, guys, if you love and support me and you're really enjoying this show so far, go to the comment and drop #love. #love. That tells me that you're loving me, loving on me. And I will love you back. I respond to all of my comments. I love to respond to people and connect with them. I'm all about human connections. So where were we? We were talking about the scale of consciousness. And I was saying about my reality. So the reality I was in during childhood stored a lot of images of heaviness, of darkness, of lower vibrations. If you look at the scale, my vibrations of the things I experienced were all coming from fear, from doubt, from anger, from resentment, because that's the life I lived. So when I first migrated to the US and a friend of mine gave me the book, The Power of Positive Thinking, it was like a shock. Like on top of the cultural shock of a new country, it was a shock that I didn't even know that this type of thinking existed. I didn't even know. Now, some of you might ask, well, Zane, how the hell did you survive in Baghdad if you weren't this positive thinker? I was positive in my own way. I don't know why. I always felt that everything that I went through had a purpose, that God didn't just haphazardly decided to throw me in Baghdad for no reason. And guys, when I say God, I don't mean it in a religious way or if you don't do this, you're going to go to hell way. No. God is the source energy that created you and me. If there's another term that resonates with you, please use that. So, scale of consciousness. You want a different reality than the one you're in? I encourage you each and every morning to get up, pull this slide of the scale of consciousness and ask yourself, where am I at on this scale of consciousness? Where am I sitting right now on this scale of consciousness? If you guys want this exact slide, go to the link in the description. Go to the link in the description and download the slide and print it out. Download it and print it out and check it out and see for yourself each and every day how you're feeling. Because the feeling you have for the day will trigger the memories from your subconscious. And those memories from your subconscious will be mirrored and reflected back to you. That's why each and every one of us is living in a different reality, even though all of us are living in the same world. We all live on the same earth. We breathe the same air. But each one of us is living a different reality because our state of consciousness is different. Our level of consciousness is different. And guys, there is a huge movement happening right now for people to wake up to their divine spirit and to up-level their state of consciousness. And there's a lot of people who are afraid of that because they like people being manipulated by the news and by the media, and they like that people don't think for themselves, that they rely on major outlets for their everyday needs, including their informational needs. So that system now is being threatened by freethinkers, and they're panicking, and they're trying to shut things down because they want people to live in a state of fear and state of feeling like you're unworthy, like you're incomplete. Because when you feel unworthy, you go to plastic surgeons and start to alter things. When you feel incomplete, you go and buy a lot of the garbage that they sell us on with advertisement. And guys, this is not against advertisement or against buying stuff. I love buying new things for myself. But I buy those new things for myself when I want a reward for myself. I don't look at my belongings and say, oh, I'm so this and that. I will not be complete until... No. Guys, this shirt, probably I had it 12 years. I just love the shirt. It makes me feel good. It looks good. I love the color. I love the print. I had friends, guys, where they would literally look at this shirt and they tell me, this is a 12-year-old shirt. You can buy a new one. Why don't you just throw it in the trash? And it just triggers within me the thinking of how big this consumerism machine has infiltrated our lives, where we truly believe that our life will not be the same if we don't get the newest gadget that just arrived, even though the one that you had is less than a year old. Have you noticed, guys, like a lot of the gadgets, when they come out, it's like about 10 months difference. So you get the newest gadget in September, and a lot of times you can't even get it in September because it's like so hot. So you get it around Christmas, and then next September they have the new one. And you're like, what the hell? I didn't even own it for a year. That's why, guys, I am urging you to uplevel your state of consciousness, because when you uplevel your state of consciousness, you unplug from the system. You unplug from consumerism. You unplug from the narrative that you're incomplete until you have a partner. You're incomplete until you can do this. You're incomplete until you buy that. And you plug into the narrative of, I am complete on my own, and I am going to use my own free will to choose and create my own reality. So for all the free thinkers in the house, I want you to go to the comments and say, I create my own reality. I create my own reality. And if you're unsure how you're going to create your own reality, continue coming back to this channel, because I'm going to be doing videos more like this one, because I am tired of people continuously playing the victim. Because I played the victim for so long. Growing up in the Middle East have broken my spirit. I will never accumulate to anything because I have an accent. I have almost 1 million followers on Facebook now. My YouTube is blowing up. Even though I still have the accent, I just changed the narrative. I changed the language I use about myself. So my mission is to help you change the language you use about yourself. Change it to such a level that you become the awakened man, the awakened woman, the awakened soul, and live your life to the fullest. And live your life to the fullest. So print this out. Ask yourself the question each and every day, where am I at in my scale of consciousness? And then if you're at a level where you're happy with that state of consciousness, then revel in it. Do the things that you are doing to keep that level up. But if you're not happy with it, guess what? Easy peasy. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? If you're angry, how do I want to feel today? And use the dealing with heavy emotional training that I did for you guys, the 3 ways to deal with heavy emotions, to change your state of feeling and then pivot to the new vibration. I'll include it in the cards right here on the top right, I believe. Also I'll include it in the description so you guys can have access to it. And then just pivot and change your vibration. Guys, let's change the world. One subconscious mind at a time. And if you are with me on this mission, say I am with you in the comments. And I'll see you guys again later this week. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video about the scale of consciousness and how we can shift and create our own reality. If this video resonated with you, please give it a big like. And remember to subscribe, guys, because when you subscribe, you get notification every time we release a brand new video, so you can check it out. And there's one thing that I wanted to highlight. It is actually really early in the morning here in my neck of the wood, and I wanted to shoot this video from this side because right around that area, there's the moon. And I wanted the energy of the moon to be here with us in this session. So all right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you again later this week with another video. Till we speak again, may the rest of your life be the best of your life, and namaste.